College's choice for the Northeast-10 Student Spotlight. Eduardo, you're a member of the men's basketball team, a center on the men's basketball team. We're just here to ask you a few questions about your summer and this upcoming season. But before we start, that decision to come to America from Panama, how was that made, and why was that decision made?
Well, my decision to come to America was because I wanted a better education, and also I wanted to play a higher level of basketball.
What was the biggest difference basketball-wise, do you think, playing in Central America and playing in America, the United States?
Players in Central America are usually like shorter, as opposed to players in America that are taller. And then also like the pace of the game is probably faster in the U.S. And well, back in Central America, basketball is really not like the main sport, so that's really a difference too.
So you played some of your best games toward the end of the season last year, but actually this past summer, a big turning point in your career came. You were asked to play for Panama in the 2009 FIBA Americas Classic in Puerto Rico. Can you talk a little bit about that opportunity, how it came about, and what that decision was like for you?
Well, yeah, I went home this summer, and the basketball federation, like, they didn't know I was home, so I just went home to visit my family and whatnot. And like 2 weeks before the tournament, they found out I was home, and they told me to come try out, and I did, and thank God I made the team.
Here with Moyne head men's basketball coach Steve Evans, talking about Eduardo Archibold Brown, Moyne College's choice for its student spotlight. Coach Evans, first, thanks for joining us today and answering a few questions.
Pleasure to be here.
How did you find out about that opportunity for him?
Well, Eduardo was going home for a few weeks before the school began. He had spent the first term here, and he did some work around campus. When he was going home, I told him, hey, before you do anything else, make sure you get to a gym when you get home. I don't want you taking off 4 weeks and laying at the beach or whatever goes on in Panama. I just wanted to make sure you got into a gym. Eduardo's really good about doing what he's supposed to do. Somehow he got into a gym when he got down there. It just so happened that the national team was looking for players. Cuba had backed out of the FIBA's America's tournament, and in so doing, it opened up a spot for Panama. However, because it was so late in the summer, their players, not all of them, were signed on to play. Eduardo walked in the gym at 6'9". They needed another big body, and he was looking to work out. So it just so worked out for everybody. He benefited from it, and so did his team. When I got the call from Eduardo, I thought he was looking for another week's vacation. So when he said that the team was playing in Panama and I'm going to go, is it all right if I miss maybe the first day of school? I thought he was going as a fan, and I wanted documentation that he was actually going to be on the team. And once I got that and spoke with the coach, I realized what a great opportunity it was going to be for Eduardo. And anytime you can represent your country and be able to just be around that experience, I mean, that's an Olympic-style event, and it's something that will last with him for the rest of his life. I also felt that it's a great way for him to end his summer. He had worked extremely hard this summer in the weight room, on the court. I felt that this was an opportunity for him to go out and play. And even if he didn't get much time, I knew he was going to be around some players that were of NBA quality, and he could pick up a few things. And I was very impressed when I got to watch him play through ESPN. They had some of the games on the internet. We were able to pick it up, and to see him score a basket against an NBA player, Scola, who plays for the Rockets, was, we were just calling up everybody on the team and telling everyone to read up, and you can't believe it. Eduardo just scored a basket against Scola.
You actually scored your first international basket against Luis Scola, who plays for the NBA's Houston Rockets, and he was actually the MVP of that tournament. Did you know you scored over him after that had happened?
Yeah, I did know I scored over him. I mean, it was crazy though. Like I thought about it the entire game. It was crazy. It was like it was a big accomplishment for me.
Right, and it wasn't a garbage basket. It was off a rebound and off a free throw. So it was pretty worth it. When did that really sink in for you?
I guess like after the game. I thought about it. I thought about it during the game. I was like, wow, I just scored over this guy, and he plays in the NBA.
Moving forward, I guess that's the main question. What do you think playing in that international tournament did for your confidence moving forward in this season?
Well, it definitely built up my confidence, you know. Plus, we have a good team. You know, I'm confident on my team too. So, you know, I think we should have a good year.
Coach, maybe the biggest question basketball-wise, what do you think playing in the tournament did for his confidence? What have you noticed in preseason workouts?
Well, I think initially he came back on a high from the games, and he came out, and I think we can't watch them play during the preseason, but through other guys, Eduardo looked pretty good, I guess, early on. However, I think what ended up happening was that just like with any initial high, you come down from that. And I just think, we talked to Eduardo about, you just can't show up in the gym and expect to be one of the better players because of what you've done in the past. You've got to continue to work on your game, and his stamina was challenged in the preseason. We really pushed Eduardo more than we did last year. We realized that the longer he can be on the court and play at a high level, the better our team can be. He takes up a lot of space in our zone. He can rebound, and he is a house inside. If he gets great position, he can finish around the hoop, and it takes a lot of pressure off of Lawrence being that guy who teams really have to focus on around the hoop. So this is the longer that Eduardo can play, the better. So this preseason, the question that we really put on him was not so much of what you did playing for FIBA's America, playing for Panama, but what you're going to do playing for us and how long can you sustain the effort on the court.
What are your expectations for Eduardo beyond this year as a person?
Well, I'd like to see Eduardo graduate on time, and he's worked extremely hard to do that. He's a dedicated kid in the classroom. I'm not too sure as far as his ultimate goals of what he wants to do. I think he's still in the process of figuring that out. I am excited for the fact that Eduardo can speak 2 languages, whether they be Spanish or English. The fact that he's spent a lot of time here in the States, I think he's very comfortable. He's got a network of friends and family that he's gained here at Moyne College that I think can help him down the road. I know that if he does decide to go back to Panama and work there, he can be successful, or if he decides to stay here in the States and do something along the lines of some type of international business, I would think his background in athletics and academically being able to handle a strong course load in a Jesuit college, I would think all those factors would lead to him being a productive player in whatever field he chooses in the future.